let's begin on our backs. Begin lying on our backs with our feet wide and the knees resting together, and rest your palms, palm down on your low belly, and take a few long, slow, deep breaths into the body. Filling all the way up and emptying all the way out. Let's do cleansing breaths at the beginning, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Maybe even make a little sound. Quality of a sigh. Most of us have a little extra tension these days. And the way we can move that is through breath and movement and sound. So I encourage you throughout the whole process, especially since you're all on mute, to really take advantage of using your ability to make sound to let go of extra energy that we don't need to carry around. Just realizing it doesn't actually help anybody for us to be tense. It's okay to soften, it's okay to relax. We can hold the light for all the people who are struggling. Allowing the jaw to soften. The eyes to soften. Just allow everything to get heavier and sink into the ground a little bit. Notice where you're holding tension in the body. And on an in-breath, connect with that tension, explore it. And on the out-breath, allow it to drain down into the earth. So that with each out-breath, you're softening more and more. You can even feel as though you're feeling down into the earth, feeling into a foot or 2 feet below you, or even further. It's good to root into something bigger because our little human selves get overwhelmed quite easily. So it's good to plug into the big mother here and stabilize into the earth. And then reach the arms overhead and begin to windshield wiper your knees. So your feet are wide here. Your feet are touching the edges of your mat roughly. And you're finding this rhythm or this speed of windshield wipering the knees that feels really good. And whichever knee is in the center of the mat, you stretch it away from your head and press that hip a little bit forward. Beginning to enjoy your practice. One of the things in stressful times is we kind of get into fight or flight and a lot of doing and busyness, and we forget to really enjoy and savor life. And we're actually serving everyone by doing this. We're helping hold the calm center and remembering that there's still lots of light and joy and generosity and beauty in the world. Really letting yourself go into the pleasure of moving the body. And let's hug the knees into the chest now and rock a little side to side. As you're doing this, move your face around
Look like you're stretching all the muscles, and you can open your eyes wide and stick your tongue out and maybe even make a little sound and move your jaw around. Really undo the habitual patterns in your face. Good. Now keeping your right knee hugged in, lengthen your left leg out. And begin to circle your right foot, spreading the toes at the top and pointing them at the bottom. So you're activating all the muscles in your feet. You're using all of the joints in your feet. Switch directions. Long, slow, deep, smooth breath. Notice when you're resisting things, you'll hold your breath, so keep that continuous. Plant your right foot down on the ground. Cross your left ankle over your right knee and draw that knee in. And pulling the knee towards you. Press the ankle into the knee into the ankle. Press the sacrum into the ground. Lengthen the back of the neck along the ground. And again, take a few long, slow, deep, cleansing breaths. Being with what's here right now, just this moment, this immediate moment. Feeling all the sensations in your body. And if you want, you can tilt your legs a little bit over to the right, just a few inches, and you'll feel the stretch deepen. Let there be a quality of letting go in you, even as there's some effort in what we're doing. Use your whole experience to open and to soften. Good. Coming back to center. Let's plant that right foot on the ground. The ankle still crossed over the knee, and we're going to let everything tip over to the right. So now your left sole of your foot's on the ground, and you can press that left knee away from your head. You're getting a little bit of an outer hip stretch here. I like to reach my left arm up and diagonally, maybe even look up to the left. Get a little bit of a side body stretch here as well. And then coming back to center, let's switch sides, and we'll hug both knees into the chest first here. Rock a little side to side. Maybe let a gentle smile play on your face. Right, keeping that left knee hugged in, lengthen the right leg out. And begin to circle that left foot, spreading the toes at the top, pointing the toes at the bottom. Long, slow, deep, smooth breath, switch directions. So I'm going to begin to do this ujjayi breath, and one of the advantages of having the mic right on me is you'll be able to hear that. So see if you can replicate this sound. Plant the left foot on the ground, cross the right ankle over the left knee, flex the foot and draw that left knee towards you, grab behind the thigh, press the sacrum into the ground, press the ankle into the knee into the ankle, and continue that ujjayi breath. So it's a little constriction at the back of your throat. Kind of like you're fogging a window on the exhale. And the ujjayi breath is wonderful. It warms your body, it oxygenates your muscles, and it helps calm the mind because it makes the same amount of breath be moving in and out at any given time. So there's this quality of smoothness and relaxation that the mind relaxes into. If you want, you can tip your legs over a few inches to the left. Continue pressing your sacrum strongly into or towards the ground. Notice where you can let go in your body, letting go in the belly and the chest, the face. Plant your left foot on the ground. Let the legs come over to the left. So the right sole of the foot's planted on the ground. Press the right knee away from your head. Reach your right arm up and diagonally. Make sure you can see it. Yeah. Come back to center. Hug both knees into the chest. And this time, let's grab the outside edges of the feet and pull the knees towards the armpits. So you're coming into happy baby, wherever this is for you. And if you do want to rock a little side to side, rock a little side to side, let's play again with the jaw. You can tell I'm a little tense my jaw today. So let's all just open that jaw up. And then planting the feet on the ground. Let's bring your hands palm down on the other side of your hips. And we're just going to do a few roll-ups to wake up our core muscles here a little bit. So you're going to tuck the tail, drawing the belly button towards the spine. And then as your arms lift overhead, we're going to come into kind of a low bridge here. If you want, you can raise your chest up towards your chin. And as you exhale, unfurl the spine one vertebrae at a time so the tail stays tucked until the very last. And then you rock a little bit, a little space under the low back, and then begin curling the spine under again. Flowing up. We'll do this one more time. Exhaling, unfurling, one vertebrae at a time. And one more time all the way up. And coming back to neutral here, your feet are still planted underneath you. We're going to wake up a little bit more subtle muscles in the pelvis. So imagine the top of your pelvis is like a bowl or like a roulette wheel. We're going to roll the marble around the top. So begin by rolling the marble down to where your pubic bone is. And then we're going to roll it over towards the right, and then towards the top where the navel is, and then over towards the left, making a nice, smooth, circular motion for that marble you're rolling around the bowl of your pelvis. And move slowly and firmly to notice the little muscles in your pelvis turning on. Good. Switch directions. Make sure you get those diagonal directions as well, up and to the right and down and to the right, etc. And coming back to center, let's grab the knees and we'll find our way up into a squat. So you can do this gently, or if you enjoy spinal rolls, curl yourself into the roundest little ball and take a few nice rolls until you find your way up into malasana or squat. So I hope you have some props around. I just have a little towel here that I can use as a blanket. I could put under my heels, or I could sit on a block. Just find your way into squat one way or another. If you can, press your elbows out into your knees, squeeze your knees back into your elbows, and lengthen the front line of your body broad across the chest. Close your eyes and take a few breaths here. This is a great pose for letting go of things for obvious reasons. So check in with yourself. What is it time for you to let go of? And then just listen for the answer from your body. I almost always get the answer worry, doubt,
or trying. The things I repeatedly need to let go of. So from here, let's find our way into a forward fold with bent knees, Uttanasana, up at the front of your mat. So bring your feet hip width apart, outside edges of the feet parallel. And maybe rest your rib cage on your knees. You can get to know your Uttanasana however you want. Maybe you sway your torso around a little bit, pedal your feet out. Every time I breathe that, you can remember your own Ujjayi breath. Good, coming back to center. Let's find our way up, rolling up one vertebrae at a time, unless you have a low back injury, in which case flat back. If you're coming up, rolling up, drawing the belly button into the spine as you come up. And as you come up, let's shake it out a little bit, just in case you manage to get too serious. Shaking it out. Let's do a little qigong here. So we're just gonna give a little loving to our joints. Bend the knees slightly, extend your left leg. I'm gonna mirror you. And we're gonna circle that foot. Good. Switch directions. You can use your arms out here to balance if you need to. Shake the foot out. Good, come back. Let's do the other side. Use your balance, use your gaze on the floor to help you balance. Pick a still spot. Switch directions. Shake it out. Good. Coming back to center, touch the insides of the feet together. Bend the knees, rest the hands on top of the knees, and begin to make small circles with the knees, especially if your knees are a little tender, or if your knees feel really strong, maybe you come a little deeper. The side here. Switch directions. This can actually really help heal whatever's going on in your knees. Good, coming back to center. Let's bring the feet a little wide, the hands on the back of the hips, and begin to circle the hips. If you want to, close your eyes and just enjoy this. Find that speed at which you feel the most connected with what's happening. Switching directions. Good. Coming back to center, we're going to keep the hips stable and just circle the low ribs. So trying to be where you can see me, it's a little better contrast. Okay. So I'm going to circle the low ribs and keep my hips where they are. So we tend to get a lot of stuck energy in this solar plexus area. And we're breaking that up. Switch directions. Rolling in the opposite direction. Good. Come back to center. Now draw your shoulders forward and up by the ears and back behind you, opening the heart center. Continue rolling the shoulders. And if you want, maybe let a wave move through the whole body here. Switching directions. Courting that quality of fluidity. Coming back to center, we're going to hook the fingers under the occiput, right under that ridge at the back of your skull, and be nice and firm with the first two fingers here, and begin to rotate the head from that point where the fingers are touching. So small circles from that point where the fingers touch. Switch directions. Beginning to let go in your whole being as you let go in your neck. Good. Bring your fingers midway down your neck and rest your elbows in front. Medium-sized circles from that midpoint of the neck. And just let yourself notice as you're doing this that you're in a safe place. Strong walls, nice ceiling, no predators. Just really let your reptilian brain register that you're totally safe right now. Good. Grab your upper traps, pull your upper traps down, elbows in front, big circles with the whole head. Go slow, don't force anything. This is just a gentle invitation to open. Switching directions, enjoying it. Good. Come back to center, shake it out. You wiggle the hips a little bit, shake the hands and the arms. It's a great way to release stuck energy or trauma, is to shake a little bit. Okay, let's do some half sun salute. So coming to the front of your mat, hands to heart center. Draw your belly button in. Feel how your spine extends or lengthens when you draw your belly button in towards the spine. And draw your chin a little bit back so you're lengthening to the back of your neck. Good. Inhaling, sweeping the arms overhead. Exhaling, diving, flat back, hinging at the hips. Release the weight of the head. Inhale, come up halfway wherever the back is flat. Exhale, forward fold. Release the head. Inhale all the way up. Press the feet strong into the earth. Exhale, draw the energy down the center line, resting in the heart. Let's do this 3 more times with the breath. See if you can make your breath long and slow and smooth with the Ujjayi breath. And really practice marrying your breath to your movement. Where the breath begins an instant before the movement begins. So it's really driving the movement. And our nervous systems really enjoy this when our breath and our movement are totally synchronized. One more time. Inhaling, sweeping up. Exhaling, diving. Halfway up. Resting down. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, let's step the feet together and come into Utkatasana for a moment here. So we're sitting back into chair pose. Notice my knees aren't forward, my butt's going back out behind me. I'm trying to get my knees over my ankles. Let's just have a moment here, turning the legs on, lifting and spreading the toes, if that's available to you. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, sweep them behind. One more time. Good. This time we're going to stand up as the arms come up. Bring the feet hip width apart. Offer the heart up. Reach the arms wide. Exhale, forward fold. Release the weight of the head. Inhale, bring the right leg back behind you. Knee and top of the foot on the ground. If you want, you can put a blanket or something under your knee to have a little bit of extra cushion there. And let's hang out with the hips as far forward as feels comfortable for you for right now. And I like to press the top of my foot into the ground. So I'm turning on that same hip flexor that I'm stretching, like I'm gonna kick a soccer ball, and I'm also trying to draw my right knee towards my chin at the same time. So the whole front line of my leg is really turned on and alive here. If you have blocks, you could have your blocks up here right now. Then let's firm the legs together. Come up to a little bit more of a square shape. Sweep the arms overhead. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and bend over to the left. So your right side body is getting a nice stretch here. And one of the things that I notice I'm doing in almost every pose is Uddiyana Bandha, which is drawing my belly button back towards the spine. So for a moment, just let your belly pooch out and kind of sink into it and feel how your spine shortens a little bit. Then draw your belly button back in towards the spine and feel that sense of extension up through the spine. Good. And if you want here, you can bring your hips a little bit further forward and begin to stretch into that psoas muscle. Good. Bring your right hand down. Maybe you want to block under this. We're going to come up into a twist. So you can leave your knee on the ground or tuck your toes. Come up for a high lunge twist. Lift that left arm. See if you can feel your sacrum. It's probably not going to get exactly square, but try to square your hips with the ground roughly, so that the twist is really happening in your upper and mid back rather than in your low back. And you're sending that left hip back towards your feet and towards the ground. Good. Firming your legs together, come up into a twist. So you're facing to the left here. Your left foot is forward, you're twisting. Maybe just stay here. Or if you want to go a little further, left hand on the back leg, right palm faces behind you, lengthening through that right side body. One more deep breath. Good. Pinwheel the arms down inside that left foot and let the left knee come out. So I'm going to mirror you right now. So it's really your left knee is what's forward, and it's going to tilt outward, and maybe this toe will point out because you always want to keep the toe in line with the knee. And so if this feels like enough of a stretch, that's great. Or maybe you come down onto your forearms and your back leg can be on the mat here, or if you want a really stronger stretch, you can tuck your toes and come up like this. You can always put blocks or something under your elbows too, if the floor is feeling really far away. God, this is lizard pose. Deep, long, slow breaths. I like to rock my hips a little bit side to side. Let's come back up and find your way onto all fours. So bring that left knee behind you. Come onto all fours where your hips are right over your knees. Your hands are right below your shoulders. And let's find a little cat-cow. Inhaling, arching, opening that front body. Exhaling, rounding chin to chest. Let's begin to sync it with our breath. And then experiment with having a little bit of a hold at the top and the bottom. So you're holding the breath in for a few moments and feeling the full expression of the pose. And then you're holding your breath out for a few moments and getting the roundest back you possibly can. Good. Now walk your hands a few inches forward. So we have a little bit of a longer stance than normal, and we're going to do barrel rolls. So first you're going to bring your hips back and to the right, and then swing them around. Make big circles with your hips. You may even come forward almost into upward dog here. See what feels good. You'll feel a really nice stretch as you get your hips into the side part of the circle. Switching directions. Come back to center, walk your hands, square yourself out again. So you're right into tabletop. And as you inhale, sweep the right arm open, so you're stretching open to the right. As you exhale, dive that right arm under, and we'll come down, and to thread the needle, lengthen that left arm out if you want, or just press the left palm into the ground to help rotate your heart to the left. See if you can keep your hips square here. I'll show you from this perspective. Keep your hips square. And really press the outside of your right arm into the ground. Good. Coming back to center. Let's lift the left arm up now and dive it under the right arm. Try to send your hips back evenly and open that chest up to the right. Good. Come on back to all fours. And let's sit back into child's pose for a few breaths. Breathing into the back body. And whatever story's been up for you lately, gather it up on your inhale, and on your exhale, breathe it out through your forehead into the ground. Emptying out. Come on back to center and find your way onto your belly. So maybe you move your blanket out of the way if you have a blanket under there. We'll find our way onto our belly and come into Sphinx pose for a moment. So the elbows are right under the shoulders. And you're going to pull your elbows back towards your feet, like you're trying to pull your heart through your arms here. All right, if you want, you can also firm your glutes and press your pubic bone into the ground, tucking the tail a little bit, pressing the tops of the feet into the ground. And let's release down, rest your head on one cheek. Rock the hips a little side to side. And we're going to use the next few inhales to come up into different cobras. Or if you like, if upward dog is part of your practice, you can hang out there for a few breaths. On your next inhale, find a cobra, really tucking the tail, protect the low back. Focus the opening in the heart, behind the heart. Good. Exhaling, come down. And you can play around a little bit with where your hands are in your cobra. Finding what feels good. Now let's plant the hands beneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, and find your way to down dog. So maybe you come up into plank, or maybe you come onto all fours and find your way back into down dog. Probably you walk your feet up a few inches. Try to stretch the mat longer between your hands and your feet here. So you feel the back line of your legs turn on and creative lengthening in your torso. Maybe you pedal your feet out a little bit. Good. Let's lift the left leg, three-legged dog. And since we're all in the privacy of our own space, I really encourage you to take a few sighs here. Deep inhale, and on the exhale, make a ha sound. One more time. Ha. Good. Bring that left foot down. Raise the right foot. Use the breath to let go one more time. Bring the right foot all the way forward between the hands, the back knee on the ground. Maybe grab your towel if you're having a nice cushion for your knee here. Press the top of the foot into the ground. Kick the front heel back. So we're scissoring the legs together. And this can be a great place to have a block or blocks if you need a little extra support here. Having a few breaths as you press the top of the foot in the ground. As though you could breathe through every pore evenly in your whole body. So you're not just breathing into your chest or your belly, but the entire body is breathing. Good. And then firming your legs together, come up into a little bit more of a square shape. Sweep the arms up. Grab your left wrist and bend over to the right. You can tuck your tail and begin to move your hips a little bit forward here to get into that psoas if you like. Drawing the belly button into the spine to keep that elongation of your spine. One more breath. Good. Bring the left hand down, maybe put a block under it. Sweep the right arm up, maybe tuck the back toes, come up into high lunge twist. Hugging the earth between your legs. Feel that sacrum, see if you can square the sacrum out. Lift that left hip a little bit, drop the right. Good, firming the legs together. Come up, twisting to the right. Stay here or bring the back leg, back hand on the back leg. Left palm faces behind you, turn and look over your right shoulder. Pinwheel the arms down, bring them inside that right foot. Walk the right foot out a little bit, tilt the knee out. Maybe bring that back knee on the ground. Come in down into gecko. So I'll mirror you. Maybe you put a block or something under your elbows here. Let's do 3 or 4 long, slow, deep, smooth breaths. If you want, you can rock your hips a little bit side to side. And let's press back up and find your way onto all fours again. Lift your feet, tuck your toes, firm your belly and pull back into down dog and have a few breaths here in down dog. And then find your way from down dog up to the front of the mat into Ardha Uttanasana, heart lifted. And then let's come down onto your butt and we're going to find a seated position. So come down onto your back, plant your feet beneath your butt, and just have a few breaths here, resting the body into the ground. Really landing and arriving just where you are. So from here, we're going to take bridge again. And if you do have a block or something, you could even use a meditation cushion or something, put something under your hips. And if you don't have that, you could actually even rest your hips on your hands a little bit, or roll up a towel or something just to have your hips a little bit raised off the ground.
You're welcome to do an active bridge as well. A few moments here in restorative supported bridge, perhaps massaging into your belly. Finding those tense places and pressing into them gently. And then with your breath, pressing back against your fingers. Breathing the quality of spaciousness into your heart and your whole body. Pressing your hips up, remove your whatever prop or something you have under your hips, and let's unfurl down again and bring the feet wide and bring the knees side to side, windshield wipering the knees. Maybe grabbing the elbows over the head. That feels fun. Now, when you get to one side of your windshield wiper, see if you can get, well, let's all go to the right side so we can be on the same page here. So you can put your right ankle on top of your left knee to help deepen that stretch. Good, switching sides. Hook your left ankle over your right knee. Lengthen that right knee away from your head. So you're probably getting a little bit of an arch in your belly and your torso here. Come back to center. With your feet planted underneath you, raise your right leg, and you can grab behind the thigh here, or anywhere that you can grab, or if you can't grab, just bring your foot as close to your head as you can to get a little bit more of a hamstring stretch here. And if you want, you can even tap a little on your leg, help bring a little extra chi and energy into it. And then lift your left leg also. And we're going to cross the right leg over the left leg. And then bend both knees. So we're doing Gomukhasana on our backs here. And you can just hug both knees, and maybe this is enough of a hip stretch here. Try to press your sacrum into the ground. And I should mention that if you want to have something under your head at this point, you're welcome to do that. So if this is enough of a stretch, great. Just hang here, hugging your knees into your chest. If you want to deepen it a little bit, walk your hands out towards your feet and pull your feet wide as you press your sacrum into the ground. It's always nice to flex the feet to protect the knee joints here. Take 2 more long, slow, deep breaths. Let's switch sides. Plant the right foot and lengthen the left leg straight up, and just pull that foot up towards your head. Grab wherever you can on the leg to help give yourself a nice hamstring stretch. You can even press the foot back into the hands wherever you've managed to grab it. And it's okay if you can't grab anywhere. You can just use your muscles to try to pull the foot towards the head. Extend your right leg up now as well. Cross the left knee over the right. Bend both knees, hug the knees into the chest. So you can try to get your back roughly flat onto the ground here. You press that sacrum into the ground. And optionally grab your feet or anywhere down along your shins And begin to spread your feet wider apart. Long, slow, deep, smooth breath. Letting it rush in and flow out. One more deep breath. Let's come back to center. Hug both knees into the chest. Rock a little side to side. Plant your feet beneath your buttocks. Scoot your hips a few inches over to the right. Bring your knees to the left. And maybe this is enough of a stretch and you hang out here. Or if you want, straighten that top leg. Grab anywhere along that top leg, maybe at the foot. And stretch the right hip away from the head. You can even hook your thumb in that groin crease and press away. One more deep, long, slow, smooth breath. Good, switch sides. Plant your feet, scoot your hips off to the left this time. Bring the knees to the right. Optionally straighten that top leg. See if you can keep the back of your left shoulder grounded. You can even look over to the left if you like. Maybe try hooking your thumb in the groin crease and pressing the left hip away from the head. One more deep breath. Enjoying it, savoring it. Good. Coming back to center. We're going to find our final resting pose now. So if you have anything you can put under your knees, it's often nice to have a little something under your knees. Or if you're near your couch or a chair, you could put your legs up on the couch or the chair or go up against the wall and do legs up the wall to have a little bit of inversion-like energy. So find your way into a nice shavasana. Maybe put a little cushion under your head. I'm just going to hold space for you here and sing to you a little bit.
Know you are loved, rest in peace, dream your sweet dreams, till your soul is released. Know you are loved, rest in peace, dream your sweet dreams, till your soul is released. Beloved child, my heart is yours. Beloved child, go out and open doors with your love, with your faith, with your compassion, with your grace, oh, with your grace. Know you are loved, rest in peace, dream your sweet dreams, your soul is released. Know you are loved, rest in peace, dream your sweet dreams, your soul is released. Beloved child, you are the light of the world. Beloved child, go out, spread light to the world. Be strong, be kind, be brave. Know your mind, know you're divine. Know it's all right to be afraid. Know you are loved. Rest in peace. Dream your sweet dream till your soul is released. Know you are loved. Rest in peace. Dream your sweet dream till your soul is released. Till your soul is released. The rain is falling down like all the souls you send here, coming to this earth to find healing. The earth takes in the rain like your heart hears my voice. Let us free each other with our prayers, with our voice. And I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Oh, my beloved, kindness of the heart, breath of life, I bow to you. And I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm going to read you a poem, one of my favorite poems by my friend Teddy Macker, who's a teacher at UCSB, poet and a wonderful poet. This is called A Poem for My Daughter. It seems we have made pain some kind of mistake, like having it is somehow wrong. Don't let them fool you. Pain is a part of things. But remember, dear Ellie, the compost down in the field, if the rank and dank and dark are handled well, not merely discarded, but turned and known and honored, they one day come to beds of rich earth, home to even the most delicate rose. God comes to you disguised as your life, God comes to you disguised as your life. Blessings often arrive as trouble. In French, the word blesser means to wound and relates to the Old English bletsian, to sprinkle with blood. And in Sanskrit, there is a phrase to carry with you wherever you go. Sarvam anam. Everything is food. Every last thing. The Navajo people, it is said, intentionally wove obvious flaws into their sacred quilts. Why? It is there, they say, in the mistake, in the, quote, imperfection through which the Great Spirit moves. No matter what you do, no matter what happens, it is impossible to leave the path. No matter what you do, no matter what happens, it is impossible to leave the path. Checking in with yourself now. Noticing how you feel compared to when you started. And whatever fruits there are, subtle or obvious, see if you can soak in the fruits of your practice. If you're more calm, more connected, softer. Stay with that felt experience in the body. Soaking it into every cell like you're soaking in a warm green pool in the forest. Letting in the good, taking in the good. Noticing what's okay. Noticing we're okay right now. Everything's okay. And we're going to begin to move towards closing. And if you want to close on your back, you feel surrendered there, stay right there. Maybe you rest in stillness there for a while. Or if you feel like closing seated, make your way up gently to find your seat, staying with your breath the whole time, your soft, sweet, precious breath. And you can choose to do this if you're on your back or not. I'm going to bring our hands onto the heart, palms down, stacked on there. And this is a wonderful gesture that actually increases your oxytocin. It's a gesture of self-compassion. And whatever compassion you can offer the world really starts here at home. So whatever measure of tension or suffering or worry that you've had lately and maybe through your whole life, just feel a lot of compassion for this human here who sometimes gets scared and confused and sometimes feels pain and also has known great joy and deep transformative love. There's a lot of compassion for this human here and this body here. Closing the practice with 3 full breaths into the heart. Filling all the way up and emptying all the way out, allowing the heart to get as big as the whole room on the in-breath. And to settle back and flow down into the earth on the out-breath. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Many, many blessings. Thank you so much.